Hey, look, we're live.
We'll do it live.
We are doing it live. Currently.
Currently, right now. Live currently, right now. On the
Web.
on the webs.
On the space webs.
On the ubes.
The ubes.
Here it is. This says something. I see our faces. We'll do it live. Sounds good.
I still don't understand why mine looks like a fisheye lens.
Yeah.
I don't care enough right now to figure it out.
Because it's too late to start. Do you have, I don't know, the resolution? Mine just says HD for webcam.
It says FHD. Right now I'm going to be a fish.
You're a fish.
Looking at me.
We're looking at you.
Through your fish eye.
Yes, this is what you look like to us.
You're all a bunch of fish.
We're the fish staring at you.
You're fishy, fishy, fishy. All right.
All right.
We're there it is. I remember that song.
That's a good song. All right, you ready?
I was born that way.
On this episode of Bantha Milk Podcast, Nick is back. ANDOR Season 2 has 3 episodes. It's 2.5 hours long, and we're going to break it all down.
Oh, yeah.
Intro music.
I'm telling you, with the amount of episodes we have out there, there could be an epic
I know.
dance. I'm going to make that supercut one.
There
day.
you go.
Great.
I call it the sprinkler.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was going
That's
for.
what
I
you were
didn't,
going
I didn't
for.
quite get, I don't think, I didn't want to smack the microphone.
I understand.
Anyway, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Nick is back.
That's what they tell
It's
me.
been a hot minute. We did a couple of around the Dejeric tables while you were gone.
Yeah, I've been out. I had a wee one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
a very
did.
wee
You got
one.
You got 2 little ones at home
Yes,
now.
they're both small. They both are loud, and they're both female, and they both are great
and
healthy and loud and yeah, but they're great.
Once they all start cycling together,
Oh my
you're
God.
going to need to get an apartment
Bro.
and move out for a week at a month. Every month, 1 week out of them.
It's going to be tough.
It is going to be tough.
But for right now,
you don't have to
we
worry
forge
about that.
ahead.
Yes, that's right.
And Rob's beard, while I was gone, like it came into its glorious fruition, and then once again,
And then disappeared.
gone.
It was gone. Yeah, it was fun shaving it off because it was so big. It was
Yeah.
just like it was
You just take
kinda
like a buzzer and just buzz it on off,
did you ever see like them shearing sheep?
oh yeah, you were shorn.
Yeah, that's what it felt like that I was doing here. I was like, hey, look at this. It comes all months and months and months of all this hard work, and it came
Gone.
off just like that.
Gone. I love it. I don't
So-
love it, but here we are.
Here we are. I need to crack into this
Me
because
too.
we've had one hell of a week.
Hell or high water. There you go.
Hell or high
above-
watermelon. Yeah, hell of a
I'm sorry.
week on hell or high watermelon from the 21A, the 21st Amendment in San Leandro, California. They sponsor the Ears Up main show. They don't sponsor me. I had to pay for this. I went to the store and I bought it. But this is what I do like about the 21st Amendment.
Tell me.
They're so big that
How big are they?
they're so big that their a 6-pack is a normal price.
Wow.
Where like if you go to even the local craft brewery places around here, there's some kind of Philly beer. It was really funny. I was going to get it, but a 4-pack was like $16 or $18 for a 4-pack.
First, I just hate 4-packs.
Yeah, I'm
But,
like okay.
And then like it's always the 4-pack is always annoyingly expensive.
Yeah, but this was a 6-pack when here all the way here in the great state of New Jersey was only like $10. So they got it all the way across the country and got it here for around $10. So
Well, it's California, right?
yeah, this
So
is
we
from
got to be careful because pretty soon we're gonna get tariffs on them.
There will be tariffs
Yeah.
coming into here. Oh, that was the other thing about my car dealership story. For those of you that don't know, Nick has a baby and a new car. And this past week, I got a new car also. Worst dealership ever. Uh, they put on their website the car was 32,000. We get there 32,000, and then a side sticker with an extra $8,000 price on it.
Wow.
Dealer markup, and then $250 floor mats, $100 mud flaps, which was a 50-cent piece of plastic that they slapped onto the back.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, and I even said before we even went for a test drive, I said, well, I came in looking at this price at 32. There's no way I'm spending this much. I don't need the car that badly. And I was like, all right, well, we're just going to go because I'm going to mess around with it. And they're like, oh, no. He was like, oh, that's for the tariffs. Now, two things with this. One, for those of you who didn't know, you were getting into a car dealership, car buying podcast right now.
Sure.
If the car was delivered before April 3rd,
The tariffs weren't.
the tariffs do not apply. So if they're trying to sell you a car with tariffs, if it was delivered before April 3rd, the tariffs do not apply. And they can tell you the exact date that the car came into the country. And two, it was a Kia. Kia's COO specifically said 4 days before we went car shopping. So 5 days, 6 days ago. Kia will not be passing on the tariffs to the American consumers. They make enough cars here in America that they can, whatever the deal is with that. So we told the dealer that, and he goes, oh, well, the dealership doesn't care. They're going to do it anyway. And we said, oh, well, great. And he goes, but you know what? We'll take that off for you. So they immediately
They're
saved
nice
us
guys.
$8,000 that they were charging us extra for.
They're nice guys.
They're very nice
Rob, I
guys.
got to tell you, I'm starting to get the sneaking suspicion that these car dealers might not be the most reputable of folk.
No, and this was a new car. This wasn't even like a cheesy, like used car dealership. This was a new car dealer, which made it even worse. There you go. That was a good
That
pop.
was a good one. It got over my glasses.
Yeah. All right. So look at this. Nice, clear. It's a wheat beer with watermelon, Heller High watermelon. So long story short, since you brought up the tariffs, if a car dealer tells you that, oh, too much, I turned it too early, you're doing a much better job than I did.
Still a little early, but not too bad.
Oh, there you go. Okay, good. Yeah, so little tariff
facts.
Tariff facts for you there.
You can catch all of these on our Tariff Milk podcast.
Tariff Milk
podcast. It's part of the Ears Uposphere.
That's right.
Catch us weekly at 3 a.m.
We have
morning drive time.
We have the 3 to 3:30 time slot.
That's right. It's prime time for truckers.
Yeehaw, let's go. For all you truckers driving in the middle of the night, you can listen to us talk about tariffs on foreign import cars.
Love
all right,
that.
I'm going to have
Give it a sip.
Yeah.
While Rob takes a nice sip. Let's see it, Rob. Oh,
it's beautiful, nice and yellow.
Just very nice, and it is very yellow. What do you think, man? Watermelon.
Heller High watermelon. It definitely has a watermelon aftertaste to it. It's delicious. You should try it.
Yeah. It's funny you say aftertaste because you don't taste it at all while the liquid's in your mouth.
No, not until you swallow it, and then you go, "Oh, there's watermelon."
Yeah, and it's not overwhelming.
No,
but it does remind me a little bit of like Bubblicious bubblegum.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like
that
watermelon
yeah,
bubblegum flavor. I don't know if Bubblicious is watermelon flavor.
I'm sure they did at one point in time have watermelon.
Whatever watermelon bubblegum I ate as a kid.
Yep.
Maybe it was Big League Chew. I don't even know, but still, yeah, that's good. I'm always trepidatious when it comes to fruits in beers, especially like Melanie things. I like Melanie, whoever Melanie is.
Melanie, she's a nice lady.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I just get out of my beer. I do like a good blueberry beer every now and then.
Okay,
but yeah, this is good. I like it. Way to go, 21A.
Yeah, 21A, like the Heller High watermelon. Jason raves about it, so I was like, I have to go find it.
Well,
so there we go.
We found a job well done on that one. I will enjoy it.
Yes.
So I hear there was a show. We should talk about things.
Well, yeah, let's talk about some other things first.
But let's talk about everything.
Everything right now, all at once. Ready? You start. And
okay.
Andor, so there was
I can't even do that because
you were listening. You couldn't even talk. Yeah. Okay. So before we get into the other things, that Andor show, Some important Star Wars news. Star Wars Celebration happened
Oh, that's
April
right.
1st through the
Man,
4th. Yeah.
a lot of things have gone
Yeah.
on.
So they
Yeah,
dropped a whole bunch
Celebration, a
of
lot
things.
of stuff.
There was, going way back, Kathleen Kennedy is her
She's out.
time is running out if
Um,
it's not out
But I
already.
feel like every year, every couple months, we hear that Kathleen Kennedy's leaving,
Yeah, that
and
is true.
then she's still here.
And then she's
so
still here. Yeah,
we'll see. I'll believe it when I
it's
see
a
it.
slow burn.
Yeah, yeah.
So Star Wars Celebration was April 1st through the 4th. We're all the way at the end of April. So if you live under a rock like Nick does, if you're trying to potty train and have a new baby, they're all at the same time, and
That's easy.
weren't paying attention, I'm going to let you know all the cool things that happened, that were nominated, that were brought up, and all that good stuff. The only thing I don't like about this is we always get, all these new shows and all this new stuff, and then half of them never come. So
Yep.
hopefully these will actually make it, and
At
they
the
won't.
very least, a couple of them seem like they're already like through production and like
Yeah.
ready to go. We
Yeah.
have some footage and stuff. So
Sherry was like, Ryan Gosling's going to be in a Star Wars movie, and I'm like, it won't happen.
yeah, I'm excited. We'll see.
Yeah, she was
I
like,
think
he
it would
was
be good,
there.
but
I
we'll
go,
see.
well, since he was there, we might have a better shot of it happening.
Yeah, I definitely
but
think that helped him.
yes, yeah,
But it's never say never. I feel
Mm-mm.
like at this point, the Game of Thrones guys were definitely getting 3 movies.
yes, yes, they were.
They didn't get any.
Also, speaking of movies, right now as we speak, it might be out for like another week, but
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith is back in the movie theaters.
Yeah, 20-year anniversary. And I remember this very fondly because it is my 20-year high school reunion this year.
Oh, so you went as a senior?
My senior year, I went 6, 7 times. And I remember specifically, and I'm sure I've mentioned this on the podcast, when I was in elementary school, I was like part of this Star Wars fan club where I would get these magazines and stuff. And in one of them, they were talking about how they had just started the work on the prequel trilogy. It was like 1997 or something.
Okay.
And they were talking about the 3 new movies that were coming out, and that the last of them wouldn't come out till 2005. And my like 10-year-old self, I'm like, oh my God, that's the year I graduated. That's like, forever away.
That's forever away.
And here I am 20 years later.
20 years after, still talking. And
bringing it back.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it was that far away now.
It really doesn't.
So yeah, so Star Wars Episode 3 is out in the theaters again. So if you want to watch it again on the big screen, you can definitely do that.
Oh, I worked at the movie theater when that was out. That's right. That's how I was able to watch it so many times.
There you go.
And the last time I saw it, that's right, the 6th time I saw it, it had like assistive audio. So it was closed captioned and stuff.
Okay.
Like that. So yeah.
So were the words on the screen, or did you? Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to read the script,
which is good because
well.
that's pretty much how I watch TV anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all the Star Wars shows, you always have. You're talking about how you always have the credits up.
Oh yeah.
Also on Disney Plus, I don't know if you started watching it or not. I was hoping it was more episodes, but there's only 4 episodes. Magic Light, ILM, the story of ILM, Magic, Industrial Light and Magic, season 2 came out, and it was 4 episodes. I watched all 4. It was very good.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta like.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm home, the television, if it's on, it has to have Toy Story 2 or 3 on, or my daughter loses her mind.
Okay. So yeah, good for you're in that
just
stage.
Those ones.
Just those 2.
Just 2 and 3. God forbid I put on 4.
3 the one when they're going into the
pit of fire.
Into the pit of fire.
The one where it should have ended.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very tragic.
So yeah, that was that's
tearjerker.
Every parent in the movie theater was crying at that point in time because of that movie. I have 4 bags of stuffed animals that I refuse to get rid of.
Yeah.
Because toys like that are missing pieces and stuff, whatever. But stuffed animals, I have 4 bags of stuffed animals behind you back there that I refuse to get rid of because
what if?
Because they could come alive when I'm not down here
and just get burned to a crisp.
And I don't want that.
And what if there's no aliens there to
save them with the and they're all holding hands and they're all looking at each other and they're like,
I remember it I literally watched that movie in the theaters the day Pagan got back from a trip to Switzerland. I remember specifically, and it was like, oh, I was so happy to see her, and we went and saw this happy, silly movie, and I was like, this is the heaviest movie. What is happening? But this was, of course, before Up came out, so this was probably the most emotional and animated movie had ever been by this point.
Right, and then Up just punches you in the gut in the first 5 minutes immediately.
Like, have fun for the next 2 hours.
Yeah, you're gonna be thinking about this, but yeah. Up another classic. I love it. Okay, so back to some Star Wars stuff. Star Wars Celebration took place. The next one in 2027 will be taking place in Los Angeles,
That's right. Yeah.
California, in the
Yeah.
Los Angeles Convention Center.
Just about as far away from us as this year's was. Not
True,
that much
but
closer.
we won't probably won't need a passport to get there.
But you need a real ID.
A real ID. We
I don't
will
have
need a
mine
real
yet.
ID. Yes.
I need to get on that.
We went when we went to Sharon and I just went to Florida for her 50th birthday, and real ID was required, and we didn't have one, and they just okay, go ahead.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I have my ID is a re-image, not a re-image, but like you get your ID, you have it for 4 or 5 years,
You have to
whatever.
re-up it, and
Right,
they just
and
give
I
you the
re-upped
same
it, and they
image.
said, "Do you want to use the same image?" And I said, "Sure." If I don't have to go into the DMV to take another one.
Yeah, of course.
So I mean, I look a little younger, but whatever. It was still from a long time ago. So image wise, anyways, from a long time ago. So yeah. So the Star Wars Visions presents the Ninth Jedi.
Okay.
Longer form stories from Star Wars Visions are in the works, starting with the continuation of Kara's story from the Ninth Jedi and Child of Hope. So that's a new Star Wars Vision. ILM 50, Industrial Light and Magic, celebrates their 50th anniversary and announces a new book. Probably going close to what the second season of ILM was all about. Talk about tearjerker. There was a part where they talked about the uh, model shop closing down
Yeah.
in 2023 or 2024. I forget exactly the year that it was, but because they no longer were getting the business that they were getting before they went to all computer graphics.
Right.
Um, which jumping ahead to Andor, I did feel like this season wasn't so much confined to the void. I felt like a lot of the scenes, the sets were much
The
bigger.
volume, I see. Yeah.
The volume. Sorry, the sets were much bigger, grander stages.
Some of them, yeah. Some of them, I could still tell they were shooting in the volume. But yeah, I could see where there's definitely some shots where maybe they actually
Like
went
Mon
on scene.
Mothma's castle and
Right.
stuff. Like I felt like there was one scene she was walking for a very long time.
Right.
Which if it was filmed in the volume, she would have been walking on a treadmill.
Right.
But this looked like she was legitimately walking in the background, and I was like, wow, they used like a real
Right.
big shot for this.
But the LSD party scene was definitely in the volume.
Yeah.
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 Where they're all just
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
having a bit of an
And
acid trip.
I also think maybe like when Cassian was trapped with the rebels, who
Yes, for sure.
like those two scenes when they were in the ship could clearly have been in the volume.
Yeah, just kind of like that. Those two sides.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Industrial Light and Magic celebrates 50th anniversary with a new book. Star Wars fans were donning their celebratory cosplay showcase that was there. Updates coming to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run.
Oh yeah,
which will be fun because you loved it the first time you were on the ride.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you and Tom have never been there.
Yeah.
But now they're going to have, and it's funny because it's going to coincide with the release of Grogu and the Mandalorian, the movie.
Right.
But they're going to have scenes.
Which, by the way, had its trailer debut at Star Wars Celebration.
Yes.
Looks great.
It looks great. They did that, and we'll get to that. But now when you go on the Millennium Falcon, or in 2026, when you go on the Millennium Falcon, you'll have options as to where you'll go instead of just the one
You
ride.
can pick a destination.
Yeah, you can pick a destination
You get a
and
different experience.
yeah. So a new mission inspired by Mandalorian Grogu is being added to the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. 5-part Star Wars Fortnite collaboration will launch on May 2nd. Do you still play Fortnite now?
Not really.
Okay.
But when they do like Star Wars things, every now and then I'll just re-download it and play
play it.
It's free. So.
Yeah. So Fortnite Galactic Battle will launch on May 2nd. Darth Jar Jar enters the Star Wars Fortnite
nice.
universe, where players will experience new Star Wars gameplay every week through early June.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be fun. Fan Spotlight Saturday. Darth, the cast of Andor can't wait for you to watch the 3-episode season 2 premiere They showed. I feel like they showed the whole first episode there, which was interesting because it was an hour long, and I can't. It would have been fun to be in that theater and then sit
Yeah.
there for an hour and watch the whole episode. Um, find out 5 secrets about Ahsoka directly from Dave Filoni, John Favreau, and Rosario Dawson. They were there talking about official announcement trailer for Star Wars Zero Company. Will give us a perspective on the Clone Wars that's never been seen before. The upcoming single-player turn-based tactic game coming to PC, PS5,
Yeah.
and Xbox Series XS puts you in command during the galactic spanning conflict. So you'll get a new game. Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxies, Pieces of the Past. A new season of Rebuild the Galaxy will feature Lego Brickheads, Ahsoka, and Jackson. When we were writing Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy, we knew we were only scratching the surface of the new. Did you watch that?
I started it at one point, and then I like again with the kids got distracted. It seems
Yeah.
like a good concept, but it didn't grab me enough that
I feel like
never
it
checked
didn't
out.
grab me either. I started watching it and was like, oh, and then for whatever reason, I stopped watching it. I don't know why. Star Wars The Old Republic shares a featurette looking back at the storied game. Star Wars Starfighter swooped to celebration stage. Director Sean Levy and surprise guest and star Ryan Gosling announced the title of the next Star Wars theatrical film to go into production. So that'll be called Star Wars Starfighter.
Really interesting. That
Yeah.
I hadn't heard. All right, we'll see.
So that's the Ryan Gosling movie.
All right.
Interesting if it'll happen again. Mando and Grogu shared a first look at their beloved duo and a brand new character. Lucasfilm Animation anniversary. Lucasfilm Animation took a look back and look forward to announcing Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord. That looks
Yeah,
good.
that looks great. Sam Witwer did a lot of PR at Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
And he's like you always see clips of him talking about like the lore and like about how deep, like he has a really deep knowledge of Star Wars and stuff. So I'm excited about that one.
Yeah. I'm excited for that too because he's a fun character.
Yeah.
They lighten Magic second season is on Disney Plus. That's out already, so you should watch it. New covers are revealed for upcoming Star Wars manga novels, art books, and the conclusion to Phase 3 of the High Republic. Hasbro is bringing Star Wars Legends and Legends to life. Interesting. It's toys, so there's new toys.
Hooray.
Yeah.
Merchandising.
John Kay and Nick's on a new adventure in Star Wars Outlaws of Pirates Fortune this May. So there's a new game. A lot of new Lego Star Wars. K2SO Lego set looks really, really good. A lot of new helmets. So above me there, I'm going to be getting some new helmets.
Nice.
And so that's Star Wars Beyond Victory, a mixed reality playset debuted on an electrifying new trailer. See Volo, Luda, and an especially dangerous Doug in action. Get all the news from Star Wars Celebration Japan. So Young Jedi Adventures is coming back this fall with a fun new season.
I keep trying to get my daughter into that. And like she's not, and I kind of get it. Like it's Star Wars, but it's just like not great. And like now she's into Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and I want to gouge my eyes out, man. It's so bad. And like Miss Rachel, I could get behind because it kind of taught her something.
Right.
This is just stupid.
Yeah.
And it makes me angry.
Yeah.
And she like it's all she says, Mickey. And if I want to put on it, no, she wants Mickey or
Mickey.
Toy Story. That's it.
Mickey and Toy Story.
Anyway.
All right, but I
forget how I got on that rant.
Yes. So that's all the other stuff that's coming out. There's some other things also, but we're here for the big breakdown of the 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours of Andor season dos, episodes uno, dos, tres.
You didn't know Rob was bilingual, did you?
I can count to 3 in a lot of different languages.
Claro KC.
Right. So I don't have it written down scene by scene because that would take way too long to do that. So what I was thinking was there's 4 major storylines.
Yeah, there's like plot lines that are happening. Like, yeah, you're right. And I feel like this is, just like in the first season, they're releasing it in like arcs.
Yes.
I mean, this is the first arc of the season, and yeah, there are we can kind of go through each of these kind of through lines that are happening.
Yeah.
Um,
So with season 2, it takes place a year after we left off. And for anybody that doesn't know, it's supposed to go all the way up right to the time that the movie
right.
begins.
I will say I was kind of disappointed that it didn't start with a little like reminder, like
Hmm.
season one recap, just like important
Oh,
things.
it was there.
It was.
Yeah, you might have skipped through it.
I didn't think I did. Well, I'll have to go back and check it out, I
Yeah,
guess.
because there was a previously on Andor.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's a bummer.
yeah, you
That would
missed
have
it.
really helped.
Because they had one for episode 2 also.
That I remember when they had it for 2.
Yeah, and I was like, I just watched episode 1.
All right.
So, yeah, so there was a whatever.
Anyway,
Anyway,
so the 4 major plot lines.
so there's 4 major plot lines going on. We have Mon Mothma's plot line
Yes.
on
Her cloak and dagger stuff
Yes.
on Chandrila.
Chandrila. We have the bad guys, the Empire.
Right.
What's his name?
Oh
the
my
little
God.
weasel guy. I love him.
His arc, I never thought his would be my favorite. But watching that scene, the dinner scene,
Oh my
it was
God,
so
the dinner
funny.
scene was awesome.
Because again, just like with season 1 with the train scene, it's like this doesn't have to be Star Wars. This could be anything, and this is a relatable.
Yes,
Like everyone's been in that
everyone's
situation
been in that situation
somehow, you know, like
where you're like, oh God, I have to sit and talk to my mom,
and then you're just laying by yourself in your bed
on your bed
alone.
waiting, yes, hoping that she disappears.
Which, by the
what
way,
the hell is his name?
that laying on the bed was improvised.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, they didn't tell him to do that.
That's really
he
funny.
thought about it and he just said, "What would I do if I was in here?"
Yeah. So Deidre is the girl.
yeah.
But then Rauld, not Rauld. Rauld, was that him?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah. Let me see. Jack Bando. Yeah, it's definitely him. Yeah, he was awesome. But yeah, so we have the Empire angle on all of this. Then we had the rebels that were disorganized rebels plot line.
Yes.
And then we had
/ Cashin.
Yes.
Like the main guy.
Right.
Technically, that
Yeah,
was his.
yeah, Cashin.
But he also leaked over into the next subplot.
Into the other plot with was it Flex with
Bix?
Bix and what was his friend over there who
man, the names I've had.
I know
really
there's
hard
so many
time,
different
honestly.
names. Jurdis, was it Jurdis? No, Bezo, with Bezo. Yes, with Bezo and Bix in the other plot line. So each different plot line was drastically different and also like different.
By the way, it's Cyril. Cyril is the guy, the Weasley guy.
Cyril is the guy.
Yeah.
Where is he on this?
Kyle Solar is the actor's name.
He is not
in Wikipedia. He's the second starring actor.
Yeah, we have Snee, Gloria Obanio. This is for episode 2.
Oh, you're on like IMDb?
Yeah, I'm on IMDb for season 2, episode 2. Then Diego Luna. Then Bezo, David or Olnrigon. Sonny Poon Tip was Fleck.
What was his name?
Sonny Poon Tip.
Sonny Poon Tip?
Yeah, that's his real name.
Sonny. Okay. Sonny. Sorry.
Sonny. Sonny Poon Tip is the guy's name.
I'm gonna...
Sam Gilroy is Jurdis, but I think that's no. And then Philip Hill Pearson was Plug. It's interesting that he's not even listed in here.
What was that one again?
Sonny Poon Tip.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh boy. Anyway,
he is he's known for Andor, Industry, and Anatomy of a Scandal.
Sonny Poon Tip, there he is.
There he is. So yeah. So we got the 4 major plot lines that are going on. And so it starts off, it's pretty funny how it starts. I like it. Cassian is stealing a ship.
Yes.
And
A tie. It wasn't a defender. It was one of the ones from I think like the X-wing versus Tie Fighter game.
yes,
Specifically, it was not an interceptor. I forget which one. But yeah, it was one of the old school. Out of like it's they can now create a new Disney branded merchandising.
right. Um,
But it's clearly a prototype that
yes,
they are stealing
they're stealing
for
this
the
prototype.
rebellion.
Yes,
They don't tell us why. They don't tell us anything aside from Cashin is here and he's stealing this TIE fighter.
he's stealing this TIE fighter, and he gets in, and the controls are way funky, and it was really good. The code word that they said when she said to him the password to get into the ship, whatever, will be used at the very end. It was one of the planets in the movie or something like that that follows into. So
Okay.
when you hear the code word again, then you know that you'll hear that word again uh, much later or in the movie. So yeah, so he's talking to the test facility girl, and she's like, "But I actually, oh, a TIE Avenger.
Avenger.
That's
That's
what
it.
it is." um and she's like, I actually like these people, and so she's broken up about, she actually got to know the people working there are not bad people per se.
Right.
They just happen to be working for the empire. There's a lot of political lines, especially in today's society right now in America, that I feel like they said, you know what, we're going to put this into a TV show to show you how.
Yeah. If I didn't know that this were written and filmed before the election even happened,
Okay,
I would be very shocked if someone told me that this was not like
right,
very like written about
like
what's
written
happening
about
right
what's
now.
happening right now.
But it sure is a timely
Yes,
piece of
because
Star
especially
Wars.
like in the other plot line with Bix and Bezo, they're
They're
undocumented.
refugees.
They're refugees. They're undocumented immigrants on
But
this other
literally
planet.
their whole arc is it. And I was watching Star Wars Explained. He put it in a really interesting way. It's like it's not even an interesting like what makes it interesting is that it's not even an interesting thing that they're scared of. It's an audit.
Right.
They're like
Yeah.
this is and it's real. Like
And it's real. Yeah.
yeah,
They don't. Yeah, because they know if they get caught that they're going to jail,
right.
and
In El
just
Salvador.
in El Salvador,
Yeah.
even though they're
With
not from.
MS-13 gang
Well,
members.
yes, and in a room with 500 people and 50 bunks.
Right.
But yes, um, so he winds up stealing the ship and does a very poor job of it, bouncing all over
Yeah,
the
it
place.
reminded me of Independence Day.
Yes, yes, very Independence Day like when they're trying to fly the alien ship.
Yep.
And
I had it flipped upside down.
I did like once at one point he says to uh on the comm system, he's like, this isn't what I
Yeah,
trained
this is
for.
not the
This
TIE
is
fighter
not
I
the
trained
TIE
on.
fighter
Yep.
I trained for. But yeah, so he bangs it all over the place and finally realizes that he figures it out a little bit. But even as he's figuring it out, it still was not working. Very like Han Solo esque,
Yep.
where it's like, watch this, you
Yep.
know, blast some holes in the door and then gets out
Barely.
barely.
Like skipping on the ground.
Yeah, and like then he falls down into a trench because he still can't figure out how to fly it. So very, like you said, Independence Day, even like the
Through the
Death Star
canyons,
run
yeah.
through the canyons and stuff like that, Top Gun, whatever. Anytime there's something flying, it somehow has to go through a
Well, it's
through a
much
trench.
more interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's
And then you can shoot the thing and go under it, and the people behind you
right.
can't
Yes,
go
you
under it.
always blow up the thing as you fly through, and it always breaks. That even happened in the pod racing, didn't it? Or no?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I'd watch it.
I feel like it was also like a pod racing thing.
I thought it looked very good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The graphics were really good.
Mhm.
The CGI, the ILM crew did a very good job.
Yep.
Looked I was gonna say it looks very realistic, but as realistic as the spaceship can be, it looked really good.
Was watching Toy Story today, and I said to my wife, "Okay, so let me get this straight. Buzz on Bullseye, he's outrun by the little
Radio
trolley that
control. Oh,
drives the furniture, or not
okay,
furniture, the luggage, right at the
okay,
airport,
yeah,
and yet somehow he's keeping up with the plane as it taxis and then starts to take off." And she goes, "Nick, it's a movie about dolls and toys that come alive. I don't think we need to pick this apart." Like, you're right. You're
the
100% right.
realism is a little out the door there.
Yep. So yeah, as real as a space battle could
Yes,
look.
as
Yeah.
real as the space battle could look.
It's
So
funny too, because I was even thinking, like, as he was kind of floating out in space and like he was like just stopped and he was like sending his transmissions and stuff.
right,
I was like even sitting there going like, that tiny little craft has like a gravity generator,
yeah.
and he's just kind of like just
Well, that's the
plopped
thing.
down.
Every single ship. I mean, gravity generators are really compact now.
Yeah, they come on all sides. You can put them on
You can,
anything.
anything you can put it on anything.
Put them on your pod
The
racer.
somebody did a video of talking about the gravity when Darth Vader bounced around after the uh, tunnel when they blew up the Death Star,
Yes.
and then he banged into the thing and he went flying and spinning out into
Right.
space. How many times he was like spinning and the G forces and all
Right.
that stuff, like
He's in his armor, just
in his like you know,
he's doing those Air Force maneuvers. Just
right. He was pushing all down into his legs and all that stuff. Yeah. So yeah, so it's pretty funny. So then he breaks out, and then like you said, he contacts his contacts, and they say, you can't go home yet. There's no communication, whatever. And then he's upset. So then he puts it down on a planet, which was it Yavin? I'm pretty sure it was
It was
Yavin
Yavin
because
4.
we saw
Yep.
the at the end we saw the
pyramids.
pyramid
Yep.
stuffs, the bases and stuff.
Which again is it's cool to think about, and I think it's kind of what they're trying to say with this part of the story, is that like right now the rebellion is not a one thing. It's
Right.
it's fractured. It's
fractured.
you know,
Yeah.
this whole storyline is two groups of rebels fighting each other. You know, they're both
And
rebels, but
yeah,
there's chaos. And so like it's cool just like having that juxtaposition of like, hey, this is where the rebellion is going to really kick off. You're so close to where it is, and yet you're right here fighting yourselves.
yeah.
You know?
They what was his name? The guy who was it Forrest Whitaker played the character who was
Saw Gerrera.
Saw Gerrera.
Yeah.
Saw Gerrera named this cell last season, in like May something or other, her whatever group. So she died right before he got there, and that's why this group is in disarray now.
Right.
They have no leader.
Right.
So the one half wants to do this, the other half wants to do that. So they're just a mess, and you can see like they're they're like 5 minutes away from just like throwing in the towel and just going to raid a town or something like that, and
Right.
just be like, forget it, whatever. But yeah, so then he goes there and he knew, he's like, you guys have only been here for 2 days. You haven't eaten in 2 days. They're like, how do you know that? He goes, because I was here 3 days ago and you guys weren't here then.
Yeah.
So they're a mess. They are the most disorganized of all of the groups, and it's interesting as you go up in levels, you can see how the organization is getting better
Right.
at the top than it is coming all the way down to them, and how eventually they'll all come together. But right now they are not all together. They're all just like little cells of rebellion against the empire, but nothing completely organized. So then I don't understand like how there wasn't the communication there, other than the fact that they are just so messed up right now. They're just so frustrated and hungry and aren't thinking right, that he was like, why he wasn't like, I'm with you guys.
Well, I think the thing is, from what I read on it, first of all, they didn't trust him because he had it in like the outfit on.
He was
like,
right.
He could tell.
Yeah.
Anyone could say that. But also because he was like, they asked him who he worked for, and because he's working for, what's his name?
Axis. Yeah.
Skarsgård,
Yeah.
who is so like so secretive and so high up that he would not tell them, and so they didn't know if they could trust him or not,
Right.
and so that's where that like tension and conflict came in.
IMDb has only half of the people listed. This is ridiculous. This is
Get on your
annoying.
game,
I know.
IMDb.
Come on. It's been out. It's
Unacceptable.
been out for over a week. It's been almost a week now. It came out on Tuesday. You should have it all updated.
It's
Anyway,
unacceptable.
so yeah, so they're fighting this, and then they got him trapped because they're like, oh, well, we'll just take your ship, but then they don't know how to fly the ship
Right.
either, and they're like, only somebody who works for the Empire would know how to fly the ship. What they don't know is they should watch the little black box from when he took off. They'd be like, no, you don't know how to fly the
No,
ship,
no.
not even a little bit. So
It's
then,
like, have you seen my bumper?
I
I haven't seen it in 6 parsecs.
I think I left it back at the base. So then, and I liked the way it was cutting back and forth between all four storylines.
Yeah.
So you're seeing each one of the storylines developing. So I guess we'll just finish these guys, and
Yeah.
then we'll go on to the other one. So long story short, now the two sides are fighting each other, and
Literally, they're like taking shots at each other from like different sides, and then they're trying to move the TIE
they were
fighter.
trying to move the TIE fighter so that they could have the TIE fighter lined up so they could shoot straight at them,
Right.
which was funny because then they're trying to do the math.
It's
And-
like half a meter every hour.
Every
or something
hour,
like that.
yeah. And then they're like, you're gonna run out of food. And then the melon thing was pretty funny because they were like gross. It almost looked like they were like moldy melons.
Yep.
Oh, there was a great line. It's like, give it to it's almost like a Mikey likes it, he'll eat anything. Like, give it to Mikey, he'll
Yep.
eat it. I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. And oh no, it was in okay, there's another line referring to, did you watch Ted Lasso?
I did not.
Okay.
I don't
so
have Apple TV.
Okay, so there was a I don't know if it was a direct reference to Ted Lasso or not, but it was the same line that they used in Ted Lasso, which I really liked. So they're fighting, they're arguing, they're realizing that both sides can't agree on anything, and I wanted them to be able to communicate with somebody else to get things together. But this is where we are. We're a bunch of little cells of
Yeah, I thought they were going to
rebels.
figure it out at some point.
Yeah.
They did not.
They did not.
No.
There was no figuring out.
And then they got eaten.
And then
while playing rock paper
while playing
scissors.
rock paper scissors, they said, "All right, we need to come to an end. We're gonna play rock paper scissors." And I was like, "This is what we're playing."
But
right
not
here.
even like ridiculous rock paper scissors.
Yeah.
With poses and
poses and anger. Yeah. Well, you watch Big Bang Theory?
No.
Rock paper scissors Spock.
Oh, that I know.
And
yes.
Spock beats everything.
Sure.
So it was like, well, now you can't play because everybody just keeps picking Spock. So yeah, so then while they're playing rock paper scissors, Cassian's like, okay, I've had enough, I'm out of here. And as he's running away, then this neat like bull hippo
Yeah,
bull
hippo
thing
bull.
with the giant horns and stuff came and
He just ate the guy.
ate the guy, and they went into a panic. Cassian gets into his spaceship and flies away. And then you're like, thank goodness, because I'm tired of these guys. These guys are idiots. But so, and it was interesting, like you could tell that was all filmed in the volume because it was all very close, tight, whatever. And then we get into the second level of the rebellion, which is on Min Rao, which is where Bix and Brasso are now hanging out there as fugitives. This is the part we were talking about earlier.
This story got dark, man.
Oh my gosh.
I did not think they would go that deep and dark
for a especially for a Disney show.
Yeah.
Like
they
watched
said the R word.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh my god, I didn't think they'd say that. Okay.
And so yeah, it went there. It was interesting that they went all the way there and showed everything. And I loved the whole scene. I loved her fighting back scene. But
I mean, it was like, it's horrible to say because it's obviously not a real portrayal, but like the guy both of those actors did an incredible job portraying that
Yes,
scene.
that
And
scene.
like from the beginning, like whenever that Imperial officer was like introduced, like if you just took him at face value, like he wasn't saying things that were wrong or mean or bad, or but like just the way he said them and
Uh
his
huh.
face, like you could tell this is not a good dude.
No, no.
Something's off with this dude, and we're
Yeah,
gonna see it
we're
at
gonna
some
see
point.
something bad coming out of this dude.
Yep.
So they're now living as farmers, as grain farmers, to just try to avoid, because as you said, you didn't watch the throwback, but they had the uprising on their last planet, and then they had to run and hide.
Right.
So now they're running and hiding. They're undocumented on this planet. They know that if somebody checks their code chains or whatever they call it,
Chain code. You were
chain
close.
code, I was very close.
Yeah.
Flip that and reverse it. Um,
That's your Mippanipaflan yet.
there
Sorry.
you go. I like it.
I put my thing down and I flipped it. Go ahead.
So if they check that, they know they're going to be arrested. So it was interesting that they were running from, like you said, just an audit. It
Yeah.
wasn't even like the war was coming to them. It was
Right.
just a guy saying, "Who are you? Let me see your name. Let me see your numbers and stuff like that." And they know that they have a lot of migrant workers coming through this planet to help, because they were talking about it. They were
Right.
like, "Yeah, this is just the way it is."
Right.
Um, so I guess maybe like
And
if they
again, it
were,
was like the just this focus like specifically on like these are migrants who are valued members of our community who we rely on in order
yeah,
to make ends meet and make things happen and continue our economy and hmm,
and it was
hmm,
very interesting. They their boss was trying in the beginning, when he wasn't pressed by the Imperial Army. He was like, "Oh, maybe you guys can go down to the 200 block,
right
and they're going up this way, you go down that way, and hopefully then you can swing back around again and everything will be fine." So he seemed like he cared, and he seemed like he was trying,
until
until they said, "Well, if you help them, we'll put you in jail." And then he was like, I don't know who they are. Never
yep
met them before in my life." He like turned on them like that. And I don't want to say I don't blame him, but I can see how somebody would do that.
yeah I mean he's trying to protect his people
He's
but
trying to protect his
I mean,
himself, and
that's how I mean it's allegoric to how every, you know, kind of fascist
mhm,
government has taken root in history is
yeah,
that exact thing is people afraid for their own people
yeah,
and so they don't help others.
yeah,
So it's again it's
yeah.
very timely.
Very timely. So they're trying to live their best life, and then the younger kid falls in love with the farmer's daughter,
Right.
and
Tale as old as time.
yes, so he messes everything up because he gets himself in the wrong spot at the
Damn
wrong time,
kids.
and then Bix, who's still having nightmares from her time she was tortured in season one. This
Right.
poor lady. I mean,
Yeah,
she
she's
was
had a hard time.
tortured in season one, and then in season two almost raped in season two.
Yep.
um so she, and then he said things that were very similar to what the torturer guy did
Right.
as well.
Yep.
um so then so then the Imperial sergeant, whatever he was, the top guy, the lieutenant, I think they said he was, he goes in, and you could just see him getting closer and closer. Like first he was standing in the doorway, then he's blocking the doorway, then he took his hat off,
Yeah.
and he was like, "You know what? I need to get something taken care of, and you're going to be on the receiving end of me taking care of something." Uh, and then I loved her fighting back. I was so happy that it went really, really dark really fast. And for a Disney show, I was shocked that they went as far as they did.
Same.
Um, he did sell that wrench hit to the face
Yeah, man.
like nobody's business, and he deserved it. 100%
Yeah.
he deserved it.
Yeah, but like that was brutal.
That was brutal, and it was funny. Um, I was watching Ryan Airy talking about it, and he said, just finished watching who's the blind Daredevil.
Hmm.
Did you watch that at all?
No,
It's good.
not since Ben Affleck.
Okay. Well, I mean, then
25 years ago.
the other guy, I watched all the old seasons on whatever it was on before Netflix. They were pretty good on Netflix, and then the time ran out where they could now run it on Disney also. But in there, people are getting hit with baseball bats in the head and
Right.
whatever, and just like fighting it off and just going on.
Yeah.
Where this guy gets hit. This is what would happen if you were to get hit with a
in the
wrench.
face with a wrench, you're done.
You're done.
That's
And
it.
he was like,
No more.
yeah, like, and then which was awesome. It
Yep.
was perfect. So, but then because of that, then they knew that they had to, then run, and then it was great because then Cassian at the same time now he comes down with his X-wing Avenger there, tie Avenger, and just lit them up, which was great. Did you notice when he was coming down, there were little red circles around?
Yeah, like there was like a heads-up display.
Yeah, heads-up display. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
And then he blew up the one thing. There were the little dots, and the dots were gone.
And then the dots were gone.
Yeah.
And once again, they hit the grain silos, so all the grain came falling down and crushed them.
When I saw that like structure, I was like, something's happened with that thing.
Something's happened.
That's a really cool looking thing,
and it's way too big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way too big for something to not happen with it. So it was really, really cool. And then unfortunately, Brasso, such a good character, we had to lose somebody.
Yeah, I was bummed about that. He had a really interesting role in season 1 with the Uprising.
Yeah. And then we didn't even talk about B. What's his the droid?
Oh yeah, little puppy.
So yeah, he's like a puppy.
Yep.
What? I know what R2 is the Swiss Army knife.
Sure.
So his role of anything is just to be able to fix or whatever you need. R2D2 can do it.
Yeah.
C3PO, we know he's fluent in over 6 million forms of communication. So that's what he's there for.
What's this droid's point?
What's this droid's purpose? What is he there for?
What was he built for?
Yeah. Other than, I mean, at one point in season 1,
it's like a robotics class in one of these schools in Star Wars. It's the very first starter kit they build.
Yeah.
And this kid brought it home.
And he kept it because but like you saw him there in season 1 when they saved Cassian from the other planet. So they grew up together like a puppy and a boy growing up would do. So poor B is like they moved on without him. They're like, and he 20 years of this robot's life has been all about Cassian. And the whole time he's like, Cassian coming home? Is Cassian coming home?
Well, maybe in the next episodes we'll see them reunite.
We'll see him reunite. I hope so, because it was
poor guy.
Yeah, you don't want to leave B behind. So that was that plot line. It was very good. That one's obviously going to continue.
Yes.
The first one of the rebels in the woods. Maybe we'll see a sprinkling of them somewhere along the line, but I can't see them being too important later. Although the one guy who was the one leader, he's very familiar to me, and I know I've seen him in other probably Disney TV shows or movies.
So maybe he's
like
big
that.
enough hire. You think that he's
that they're gonna they're gonna bring him back for something else.
And so we got Mon Mothma yet, and we got the Empire.
Yeah. So which one do you want to do next? The Empire one, because the Empire one was pretty funny.
Yeah, let's go with that.
So the Empire one was great because what's the weasel guy? Cyril, we find out now Cyril is now in charge of all the pods.
Yes.
And he's talking about how this job is very important. I found
silly Star Wars tie.
Yes, with his tie that starts here. I found some things that were wrong. and I moved up from working over there to now being in charge. And his job is so important, it's ridiculous. But and then we find out that he's married to or dating or whatever.
They live together.
They live
Certainly.
together with Dedra.
Dedra.
Him and Dedra are now living together. She is so she doesn't. I want to see her drunk
Me too.
because she is serious all the time.
Yeah, very straight laced.
Very straightly. Very.
I mean that the apartment is like, sterile.
It's very
Yeah,
sterile.
it's a sterile environment.
It is an aspirin box. That's all it is. It's just all.
And you saw her like rearranging the silverware so that it was perfect, right? So it was like
everything had to be perfect.
Yep.
So she wants to still work on the Axis thing,
Right.
and her boss was like, "You've been working on it for 2 years and we got nowhere.
Yeah.
So now you're gonna
go
do
work
this.
on the spider thing.
Go work on the spider thing.
The thing with the people with the spiders.
Yes, which is an interesting thing because this is the Empire just going through and just wiping out entire planets. We just need your resources. We don't need you. You're done. So now they're figuring out a way to do that. And they were talking about the propaganda police that were there saying, they started already sprinkling out that these people are bad and all that other good stuff. And so it was very interesting. And then it gets to the climax of the Empire storyline for the first 3 episodes, which is Mom's coming to visit.
It's the best.
I love her so much.
Yep.
She is,
as much as I hate her.
As much as I hate her
so much, but she is gold. Every moment she's on the screen, it's perfect.
Yes. And so she's already giving him shit because when you played police officer with your fake rent-a-cop thing, you knew that wasn't a real thing anyway. And now Uncle, what's his name? Horace, Uncle Horatio, Uncle somebody got you this job and blah, blah, blah. And all she does is just uppercut, digging, Oh, so funny. She's horrible.
And the voice is perfect.
The voice is perfect. Yeah, that shrill voice. She asked him for some spiced tea.
Yeah, they don't have spiced tea.
And he's like, "You drink spiced tea now?" Well, I am getting older, so it's like she's gonna go play pinochle with her friends, and they all drink their spiced tea together. Mahjong, yeah. So then Cyril just has enough. He just walks into the bedroom and lays down and he's like, "Oh God, my life. Why?"
I've been there.
Oh, 100% I've been there.
While his lady out there just asserts her dominance.
She was awesome. This is what the mom needed was she needed somebody to stand up to her. She's like, "Okay, here's the deal. This is what's going to happen. He'll call you once a month. You'll see him once a month. He'll call you every week. But all this stops now." And she's like, "But no." She's like, if you want to see him, this is how it's going to go.
Yep. And of course, it's like the classic cliche of like, "Hey, this woman was stood up to," and she's like, "Oh, I like this one."
Yeah. Oh, don't you want to know what I thought you looked like? No, no, I don't. And then just to the icing on the literal cake at the end there was even better because then the mom is just hacking away at the cake. And then you just see Dedra. She's looking for the best part to start. Let's see, I'll slice right here. And just even that, she's like a nice, perfect little slice where the mom is like, rah, rah. So that was obviously, we're finding out more about the big thing that we haven't even talked about, and I guess because nobody knows, is the real big monkey in the room is the Death Star.
Right.
And nobody knows that all these things are all going towards and leaning towards the Death Star.
Yeah, they were trying to say that it's a power project.
Yes.
And they even used the term unlimited power, which I thought was great. Very good callback to Revenge of the Sith. But yeah, I guess Gorman has this natural reason, and director Krennic is back.
Yep.
Great to see him. He did an awesome job. but like this world that is known throughout the galaxy for this silk that the spiders on their specific planet
Right,
only
because they're
create.
super strong,
Yeah.
silk and all this stuff. Yeah.
The problem is there's other natural resources that they need for the Death Star, so they're gonna just destroy the planet. And so yeah, it is, but like they don't mention it, right? We
Right.
all know, we know it's the Death Star,
Yeah.
and Krennic was very self-important about like, oh, if they're not in this room, they're not a part of this, and like, but like even these people don't know it's the
Right.
Death
It's a
Star.
Death Star.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that is fun and interesting, and I'm wondering as we get closer if more people are going to find out about the Death Star or not. Like, so it'll be interesting to see if 3 weeks from now,
right,
in the last year leading up to the movie, if if they at least know about the Death Star,
right.
where now nobody knows about the Death Star right now. Um, so then we get into the best part, which is the big wedding. The
Such a weird and interesting
Yeah,
like whole arc, man. Just like, especially the end with just the dance. It's like really interesting. I don't know.
yeah. So Mon Mothma, the Chandra Lal, the planet is very religious, I guess would be the word for it. Very
Traditional. Yeah,
traditional.
they
Yeah.
have a very specific set of traditions. They follow marriage traditions, arranged
Arranged
marriage.
marriages, and we find out that Mon Mothma's wedding. I guess we knew this before.
Yeah.
Her marriage was arranged
Hmm.
before, also, and that's when the daughter in the first season, the daughter wanted to follow the Chandra Law traditions and
Right.
things like that, and she's like, "You don't have to do that." And her sister, is her sister or her cousin or whoever it is? I think it was the cousin,
Yeah.
the one who was more involved in the rebellion.
Right.
She was like, "What are you doing? Don't let her do that," type of thing,
Hmm.
whatever. um, so this is all leading up to the big wedding. The daughter, the son, the daughter look, the daughter got older.
Leda, right?
Lita,
I remember
yeah,
because it's Leia, but with a D.
with a D. Okay, yeah. So she got older from last time we saw them. I guess the boy did as well, but I felt like the boy must have been like 12 in season one, because now he still looks awfully young.
That's
But anyway,
puberty for you. The girls always hit it first.
the girls always hit it first. That's right. So we find out there's so much stuff going on in here with the husband, and he knows the ex boyfriend, Mon Mothma's ex boyfriend, who is the guy that they're trying. He's the one that's dealing with the money for the
Yes.
rebellion.
Yep.
Um, he also he has a problem. He's well, got way too drunk on the first night.
Yes.
And now he's breaking down. He's freaking out.
He's upset. He's
He's up.
losing money.
He's losing money, and not only is he losing money, but he's also now panicking about the rebellion. He doesn't want to get caught,
Right.
so he's leading her down this path that maybe I can give you the money, maybe I can't, maybe I can work this out. Which I found interesting. I'm assuming the very end, when the girl that we know is in the rebellion is his new chauffeur.
Oh, she gonna kill him.
She gonna kill
She
him.
gonna kill
Yeah,
him.
he dead.
He gone.
He gone. Just wanted to make sure that
And
I read that right.
yeah, and that's kind of what her and Luthen were
Yeah.
talking about at the end. It's like she's like, he's like, you know what has to happen. She's like, what are you talking about? Or I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, it must, what, isn't that nice?
Isn't that nice?
Or that
Yeah.
must be something
Yeah.
like essentially just like a yes you do.
Yes, you do.
You know
Yeah.
what you're just, yeah.
Yeah. So the husband was jealous because obviously it's not a great marriage. All the husband wants to do is just he's living off of Mon Mothma's money and
Right.
whatever, and he's just happy
Having
that
a good time.
he married into this better lifestyle.
Right.
The same thing with her daughter. She had to basically sell off her daughter to this other family for the rebellion. So the arranged marriage, the other family, the dad of the other family wanted to get pushed up into this prestigious level. So they made that arrangement for the rebellion as well. So she's like, she even says to the daughter, like, you don't have to do this.
Right.
And
Again. And then she's
again,
like,
she's like, I
I
want
wish
to.
you were drunk.
Yeah, yeah. And Martha's like, all right, you asked for it.
That's my daughter's only wish on her wedding
of
day
her wedding day was that
was
I
that
got
I
drunk.
get smashed
um,
and dance around like a fool.
yeah. So the dad had a great speech. The "Pain Will Find You" speech was very interesting
Yeah,
because it was really dealing with everything that's going on in the rebellion, and he has no clue that he's even alluding to that,
right.
which was great. Uh, Great writing there. And then she's then meeting with Kellen
Luthen.
Luthen, yeah, Luthen.
That's easier to say.
Yeah, it's much easier to say. Um, and it was interesting. It was cool how they got him there
Yeah,
with him delivering this artifact,
yeah.
this
The
25,000
whatever was
year old
stolen.
stolen
Yeah,
artifact, Chandrillian artifact, and
yeah.
whatever. So it was cool that he was there because of that. And this is the line that was from Ted Lasso. He he said he's there, he's here, he's there, he's everywhere.
Hmm.
When he was talking about the ex-boyfriend guy. Um, in Ted Lasso, the Roy Kent, who's the one of the soccer players, they all the fans cheer for him. Roy Kent, he's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Roy Kent or whatever. So it's really funny. So I was like,
So that's
hey,
probably a pretty. I mean, it's pretty reasonable to believe that might be a reference.
a reference, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a reference to Ted Lasso. So I was like, yes, I was like, that's really funny that he said that. So yeah, so we see the upper level of the rebellion building and a little bit of panic there because the money that they were expecting to come in, he kept saying to him, Luthen was like, did he give you a number? Did he
Right.
give you a number? No, no, no. I'm gonna meet with him next week. He goes, yeah, you're not.
Yeah.
So that's how that went. And then, like you said at the end, Mon Mothma just like finally just like the pressure got to her, and she was like,
Grabbing
"F it,
shots off the
I'm
cocktail matrix table
so
things.
I'm letting tonight go, and I'm just gonna get drunk and just not think about anything.
This is a tomorrow me problem.
This is a tomorrow me problem." The
As will be my headache.
yeah, oh my gosh, the guy that what was his name? The one who the ex boyfriend guy, the one that's they're writing out of the show. He then even started speaking about the rebellion out in public,
Right. Yeah.
and he's like,
He was being very stupid.
he was being very stupid, and it was like, okay, once you start doing that, you're done. You got to go.
By the
So
way, Brasso was the guy's name.
Brasso was the other guy.
Like from what were you calling him?
Uh,
In the guy who died?
wasn't I wasn't calling him Brasso. I was calling
It's something
him
different.
something different.
Anyway, the guy Davo is the
Davo.
ex-boyfriend.
Yes. What was I calling him? It's up here somewhere.
Ezo or something like that. I forgot.
I said Brasso at one point,
Did
but I
you?
might have said something else in between
I
there.
don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So Devo, like the band,
Davo.
Davo. Yes, Davo had to go. So
Davo had to go.
Davo had
I
to
like
go.
that. It's got a
That is a
nice
good song.
cadence to it.
So that's basic
our-
rundown. That's our rundown. Let me
our-
see that rundown.
Get that rundown for
Give
me.
me that rundown. How's that
I'm gonna send
rundown coming?
Sending a
That was on
rundown
today.
to
It
my
was.
mom. It's a great one.
It's such a great one.
It's funny because everything in those episodes could be like solved. Every problem could be solved just by like just a simple question, but like they
What-
don't ask questions.
They don't ask questions.
And
Yeah.
so it's just like, I guess that otherwise it wouldn't be a television show. It's
That's
Seinfeld
right.
too. Every episode of Seinfeld can be like explained away if just you said no, wait, slow down.
Slow down.
Let me explain this to you. Anyway, but that's so we got how many episodes in this season?
So there's 12, but they're doing 3 a week, so it's only 4 weeks long.
Right. But I kind of I dig it this way if I'm being honest because I like that they're showing us these arcs instead of just like having to wait. I don't know. I enjoyed this amount of content.
Okay. I
once.
enjoyed it, but I want to break it down and
Sure.
trying to break down
3 episodes.
3 episodes each, and these were long episodes.
Yeah.
You asked for long episodes.
I did like that for sure.
Yeah, I mean they were 40. The shortest one was 47
That's
minutes.
the
The
way
other
it should
two
be.
were in the 50s. So
I think because they know they have a firm like we are doing 3 seasons. I think
Yeah.
that's what they said. So like they know, all right, we already are doing this. They can stretch out a little bit more because they don't have like a I don't know. They can tell this story. They already know they're going to do this amount of seasons.
Right. Yeah. So I liked it. I just wish like there were so many Easter eggs, and I wasn't gonna write down for 3 hours worth of stuff. All the Easter eggs. I'm not
20
that.
stick. And it was just Easter. Look at that.
It was just Easter, or
But we can do a whole other
as
show on the Easter eggs.
yes, Kenny
Hey, maybe we
calls
should
it
do that.
nostalgic nuggets. Yeah.
Nostalgic nuggets. I like that.
Yes.
Sounds delicious.
There was one thing I did want to point out. I forgot when the girl went back to the museum to the shop.
Yes. To like plug in like an old school
plug in an old
operator.
school. Yeah.
Operator, give me Stuyvesant for five.
What
Sorry.
was that? Oh, what was the? It was in reruns when I was a kid, but I remember my dad loved it. Oh, the There was a oh my god, I can't even think. I can't even speak. But there was a one of the people was she was an operator, and
Telephone operator.
yeah, and she was like, "Hold please, one ringy dingy," and she was doing this one ringy dingy, two ringy dingies. Um, but anyway, laughing. It was in laughing.
Laughing. Wow, that's a
Laughing.
throwback right
Holy
there.
cow! Glad I got to it.
That's before my time for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I forget who did laughing. Hold on. Laughing.
Important information.
Rowan and Martin's laughing.
All
There
right,
we go.
There you go. Yeah.
Laugh and telephone operator.
Second rodeo in our chat. They got us. They got us covered. Laughing. There you
Laughing.
go.
There you go. Yeah, she did one ringy dingy. Ernestine, the telephone operator, calls General Motors.
Ernestine.
That was her name in it, but it was Lily Tomlin, I think, is the lady who did it.
Oh, I love Lily Tomlin.
Yeah, Lily Tomlin did it. So
great.
So you got to check that out because she was always really funny. But yeah, she was always like pushing the cables into the thing, and that's
Rob, I never finish a beer.
You never finish a beer, and you finish this one.
Yeah, like before you almost.
Hella high watermelon. Speaking of that, real fast, we'll do all the other ears up, scraping the vault, the Supreme Resort,
Puny
Pod, and then what's the other one? The something boys, the Buena Vista boys.
Buena Vista boys, the boys in the yard,
the boys in the
Backstreet
yard.
Boys.
Backstreet's back. All right. Yeah. So yeah, when they went to the telephone operator scene, Princess Amidala's headdress was there. Padme's,
yes.
Padme's, and also Flo Katoon. Plo Kloon, his respirator.
I saw something
thing.
about that. It could have been his or like his species. It could have been just someone else of his species. But yeah.
Yeah, and there's a couple other things that that somebody else pointed out. I forget what they are.
Yeah.
Cool artifacts there. Yeah. But that one's always like huge for the nostalgic nuggets because there's lots and lots in there. So,
yep.
Yeah, so I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I also felt it was very like they were going to try and win awards with this series.
Yeah, I don't know that they expected people to like it so much. It's the only Star Wars thing since Mando season 1 that's really gotten people's attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like even more so than Mando because it was really about the writing and about like how clever it was. So I think going into season 2, they were like, "Oh, okay, so we gotta keep it moving."
And Tony Gilroy's no slouch.
Yeah.
He's the writer and not director, but he wrote. I think he directed one of the episodes so far. But he's writing the whole season, so he's no slouch there. He's written some pretty cool things. He wrote Rogue One. He wrote Nightcrawler. He's written 21 things. I'm looking. The Bourne Ultimatum. He wrote. The
That's
Cutting
right.
Edge.
I remember seeing something about the guy writing the Bourne stuff.
Yeah, all the Bourne stuffs. Bait Armageddon.
Classic.
I love Armageddon. Such a good movie.
Don't want to close my eye. Oh, we're gonna get DCMA.
There you go. Yeah. So he wrote a whole bunch of things. He's a really good writer. So the fact that he's doing it all, it's going to be really, really good. So I'm excited for the next 3 weeks. 3 more 2-hour, 2.5-hour long episodes, all each year to year to year. It'll be interesting to see how it jumps.
Is that it's doing? Everyone is going to be a year jump.
Yeah. So this is 4 years away from Rogue One. Next week will be 3 years away, 2 years away, and then leading right up. The last one will be 1 year away from Rogue One. So it's 1 year at a time, spacing it out. So
that'll be interesting.
Yeah. So now we'll see.
It'll be nice because we'll be able to see like each week how the galaxy has changed.
Yeah.
In that amount of time.
And like we didn't. There was not even any talk about Cassian, how he escaped, where he
The
swam
prison,
to
yeah.
the prison, all that stuff. It's just
Right
this
into
is
the
a
next
year
thing.
later.
Yep.
This is it. This is the next thing.
Yep.
Um,
Not a lot of exposition, just like for the sake of it. Just this
yeah,
is what's
just
next.
this is what's next.
Yep.
So the next one it'll just be I think this said what 4 BBY. So the next one will be 3 BBY, and it'll be interesting to see where everybody is a year from now.
Yeah.
If Mon Mothma's daughter is probably going to be pregnant now.
Yeah. It's how they. It's oftentimes how they show us
Yeah,
the passage of
the
time.
passage of time is now she's got a belly on her. Um, Bix and Cassian will be back together, but there won't be no Brasso.
No,
Uh,
because my bet is that he'll still be dead.
yeah, I think he'll still be dead.
Yeah, by
I
then.
think so. Well, I wonder what planet they'll be on
Another
next.
year we can check back, but by next year,
But yeah,
probably still dead.
still dead.
Yeah.
Maybe by year 1, still dead.
Maybe. I think by then he'll be all right.
He'll be okay. He'll
Yeah.
be back. Okay.
Yeah. We'll see.
All right. So that's that. So with all that being said, Hell or High Watermelon, good beer,
Yeah, man. I listen. I'm not a beer drinker, and I drank a whole
and
can
Nick
of it.
drank the
So
whole thing.
that's news for you right
That
there.
is
So
news.
you get my stamp of approval. So does the first 3 episodes of Rogue One's predecessor. Rogue, I think that's how it's pronounced.
Rogue We.
Rogue, it's how it's spelled anyway.
Yep.
Andor. Come back to us next week. I should be back, and we will talk more about it, and we will see where this whole debacle goes a year later.
That's right.
All right.
Until then.
Until then, we have spoken.